Hello friends, Susan Silvers here with another marriage tip for these difficult times. I wanted to just say that most of us need to know that we are accepted the way we are by our partner. If we feel judged or misunderstood or rejected by our partner, things are not going to go well, and what we'll get is emotional distance between us. Now, unfortunately, we've been trained throughout a lifetime to look at the things that are not working or the things that we don't like the way they are. For example, when you were a little kid, if you're like me, you had spelling tests on those long, narrow pieces of paper, and you didn't get 9 gold stars next to the 9 words you got right. You got one great big red X next to the 1 word you got wrong. So that was just the beginning of our training and looking at what is not working and what it is that we don't like. You seldom hear a parent in a car say, "Gee, you're doing so well back there. Thank you so much, kids, for being so quiet and getting along so well. You're making this trip so much better." That seldom happens. What you hear people saying instead is, "Don't you make me come back there." And that, of course, is catching them in the act of doing something wrong and letting them know that we've caught it. And the same is true of our spouse. There are some behaviors, qualities, traits that annoy us in our spouse. That's just human nature. There's some things we love about our spouse and some things we don't love quite as much. And if you're irritated by behavior of your spouses, it can be helpful to ask yourself, how would I feel if my spouse were the complete opposite? For example, my husband, before this time has happened, used to get up at 4 a.m., would feed, water, and walk both of the dogs. He'd go to the gym, he'd work out for an hour and a half, then he would teach high school math all day, then he would come home and take care of tasks in the yard or in the house, and then he would fall asleep in his chair about 8:30 at night. So I just kind of would get irritated thinking, I wish there was something left over for me. And then I thought, well, how would I feel if my husband rolled out of bed 15 minutes before he had to be at school, went to school, did a half-hearted job, came home and played or sat on the sofa and just drank beer? I would not appreciate that. So the fact that my husband is a task guy, although sometimes it bothers me because I'm not quite as much of a task person, I'm more of a relationship person first, task second. Even though sometimes that bothers me, I can really look at it and say, I'm so much happier that he is the way he is than if he were the opposite of what he is. Another example, let's say that your husband used to get together every Monday night with some guy friends to watch football, and you really wanted him not to do that, but maybe be at home with you. Well, you could ask yourself, how would I feel if my husband had no friends? No guys that he hung out with, no guys that he could enjoy recreational time with. That would probably make you sad, and you wouldn't want that for your husband. So again, whatever trait is bothering you about your husband, ask yourself, how would I feel if he were the opposite? And this applies for wives as well, if you're the husband. Hope that helps. Love to all. Bye.